maybe that'll be a good title, is Kingdom Goers. Why not? Kingdom Goers it is. And I think this video, I'm gonna try and go for a little bit more on the soft spoken side, rather than the complete whispering that I've done the last two videos. See what works better for me, see what works better for you. Anyways, as you can see today, or tonight I should say, given that it is 1:30 in the morning, but I really wanted to get this video out on time, where we are going to do an NBA playoff bracket prediction, even before the play-in occurs. So I will be giving not only my play-in predictions, but the playoff predictions and who I think will be crowned NBA champions this season. And a little bit later, I will be doing my NBA. Actually, let's enjoy some typing, why don't we? Let's go into incognito. When is the NBA awards? The NBA awards, it doesn't have an exact date. So it's just sometime during the playoffs. I think if I remember correctly, it might be during the conference finals. I'm not sure. But anyways, later I will be doing a NBA award predictions video. And I think if you watch a few more minutes of this, you will know where I stand in some of them. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the Western Conference play-in. We'll start with the 7-8 matchup between Phoenix and Portland. And I live and go to school in Phoenix, so I do watch a lot of the Suns. I know a lot more about them than I do the Trailblazers. What I'm going to do is pull up Reel on my phone, the best app for live sports scores and commentary, and try to refresh my memory on their roster. Obviously, they have Denny Avdija. He was, I believe, an all-star reserve this year. They have Jeremy Grant, who is questionable, Shaedon Sharpe, Drew Holiday, Donovan Clingan, Toumani Camara, Robert Williams, Caleb Love. Oh my God. How did I not know? That's why. He hasn't done anything. It says that he's averaging 10, 2, and 2. But I can't find the last time he had any points was in February. I don't know if he's been hurt or what, but I mean, here he had 2 points on March 31st, but I don't know. Is it a lack of minutes? Is it a lack? I don't know. But I didn't know that they had Caleb Love, and obviously they have Scoot Henderson, Matisse Thybulle. Still no Dame. I think this would be obviously an incredibly different series if they had Dame. And I do think the Trailblazers will be much, much better, not only through free agency, but with Dame back. But when you look at the Suns, they have Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Grayson Allen, Mark Williams, Jalen Green, Colin Gillespie, Royce O'Neal, who can always turn it up when needed. And so, I do wish I knew the history between these two teams. I can go ahead and look at the calendar and see if I can find the last time these two teams faced off. The last time they faced off looks to be February 22nd, where the Suns did not have Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, or Grayson Allen, so I'm going to go and find the most previous one before that. I'm now looking in November 18th. Phoenix won this one, but also Portland did not have Drew Holiday, Jeremy Grant, Matisse Thybulle, or Scoot Henderson. Meanwhile, the only two people out for Phoenix were Allen and Green, so neither of these teams have played a full force yet, so this will be very, very interesting. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick... Oh, well, I guess I have to pick who I think is going to win the series before anything else. I think the Trailblazers will win this game. I'm going to go back on my roots in Phoenix, or my quote-unquote roots in Phoenix, and pick the Trailblazers to beat the Suns in, I guess it's an upset. And then we move on to the Warriors and Clippers. I think, without a doubt, this goes the way of the Clippers, especially if Kawhi plays. I know he's questionable right now, but Beal is out, and that's about it. I think, no Moses Moody, no Jimmy Butler. Obviously, they've been without him for a while. So, I think the Clippers get it done, and they beat the Warriors in the 9-10 matchup. And that leaves the Clippers between the Suns, and I think the Suns take that and survive to face the Thunder. So, that leaves us with Phoenix versus OKC here, and San Antonio versus Portland, and it won't let me select anything else, so we're going to start with the 2-7, San Antonio and Portland. I do think San Antonio wins this in 5. So, oops, I did not mean to do that. San Antonio, I think, will win in 5. And now we can move back to the top, where we have OKC versus Phoenix. I think that OKC will be a little rattled in the first round, and I think they still win, but in 6. Phoenix can be entertaining when they really, really lock in, so I think they try their best, and their best is a 6-game series against the Thunder. Next up, we have the Lakers and the Rockets. Now, this would be an incredible series if both Luka and Reeves were not injured. And as much as I would love to see LeBron, who I do believe is my GOAT, I would love to see LeBron carry the Lakers. Him and Bronny go through the first round. It's basically only LeBron as far as I'm aware. I don't follow not only the Western Conference, but the Lakers. I don't follow them a whole lot. But, yeah, Luka and Reeves are out. They have LeBron and Ayton and Rui, and that is about it. So, I think just the Rockets are obviously the healthier squad, and, yeah, Luka and Reeves, I think I take LA here, but I'm going to pick Houston in 6. 6 honestly might be too graceful. I'm going to go 5. I'll go 6. I think LeBron, again, he tries his absolute hardest. And then the best of the first round Western Conference series is a beautiful 7-game matchup between the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. What a great matchup between two teams that absolutely hate each other. Two fan bases that hate each other. So much bad blood in history, especially recently with these guys. I think if I had to pick my MVP for this season, I would have to take a look at it from San Antonio and OKC. I haven't actually looked at them a lot this year. Let me take a look at Shea really quick. Quick side. Shea is averaging 31. That's absurd. Wow. Shea is averaging 31. Let me find San Antonio. Find Wemby. I can't find him. I thought everybody played on Sunday. I guess not. Here we go. San Antonio. Wemby is averaging 25, 11, and 3. But, you know, my personal take, and it might be hot, and you'll hear maybe a longer argument from me in my awards prediction video, but I do think if I had a committee vote, Nikola Jokic would be my MVP. He averages 27 a game, 27.8 mind you. He leads the league in rebound and assists per game. He averages a triple-double. He is going to be one of the greats of all time. Not only one of the greatest centers, but one of the greatest players of all time. He is, I know people love to throw around the word unfair. Like in the NFL, you talk about Jamar and Jefferson and how much of a cheat code they are, but you see when they don't have great quarterbacks, they can't do a whole lot. They both had down years this year with their starting quarterbacks being hurt. Meanwhile, Jokic averages a triple-double. MVP means that you are the most valuable player in the league and the most valuable player to your team, and you are the glue of your team. And I think that is exactly who Nikola Jokic is. Therefore, I think the Nuggets win in 6. And we are set up in the West. And then we move to the East. The 7 and 8 matchup between Philly and Orlando. I think Philly takes it. I do think Philly takes it against Orlando. A quick breakdown of that. I mean, everybody in Orlando is healthy. Same with, never mind, I didn't see that Embiid was out, or at least he's doubtful with an illness. I also don't know how long Desmond Bane has been averaging 24. Same with Vaughn. Okay, no, you know what? I'm going to retract my statement, especially if Embiid is out. I think with Embiid out, not only do the Magic win this game, but then I think in the 9-10, my Charlotte Hornets beat Miami, and then beat the Sixers, and they go on to play the Pistons, so we have Charlotte and Detroit in the first round, and then we have Boston and Orlando in the 2-7. This time we'll start from the 1 and the 8 between Piston and Hornets. Now, like I said, I am a Hornets fan, and this year has been so incredibly fun to watch for so many reasons. Like you would have expected, Knuppel would get my Rookie of the Year vote if I had a committee vote. LaMelo should have been an all-star. He proved that in the second half of the season. He was snubbed of an all-star. Brandon Miller is incredible, and I believe the Hornets finally found their big man, or at least their starting big man, in Moussa Diabate. And then Miles Bridges, wow, just what the most complete starting lineup the Hornets have had, undoubtedly, in the last decade. And I say all of this to say that I think Detroit wins in 5. As much as it pains me, it's the Hornets are never able to step up in the biggest. No, you know what? I'll change it to 6 just because of my fan bias, but that's the furthest I would go, honestly. This Detroit team is incredible. One of the best 2-year turnarounds that I've seen in any professional sports league in my living memory. What Detroit has done in the last 2 years has been nothing short of incredible. And granted, a fully healthy Hornets played a fully healthy Pistons just a few games ago, and Detroit won by almost 20. And that was without Cade having his best game. It was just, yeah. Obviously, the Hornets had them. They had them in the first half and just a total collapse in the fourth. So, do I think there's a chance that they can take them to 7, maybe even win the series? Yes, but for the sake of the predictions, I'm going to leave Detroit to win the series. You know what? My fan bias, I lied. It is going to take me to 7. So, but Detroit doing what they've done this year as a full squad, I mean, you have Cade averaging 24, Duran averaging almost 20, Tobias Harris, Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart, Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson. They've been great, and their coach is super, super good. So I don't think they'll be the most fun team to watch, but they get it done when it matters, and that's what's most important in any sports league. It's not about how you do it, it's about doing it in general. Moving on, we have the Cavs taking on the Raptors. The Cavs taking on the Raptors. Now, I think Harden in Cleveland was an incredible move for the Cavs to make. Jared Allen has continued to play great. Emmanuel quickly is questionable for at least game 1. I don't think that'll play a big role through the whole series, but then in Toronto, Ingram, Barnes, and Barrett are all doing great. They're all doing great, but I do think that Cleveland is not so much the more complete team, but just the better team. I know Toronto ended the year on a heater, but I think Cleveland wins this in 5. The Knicks and the Hawks. Wow, yeah, and talk about ending the year hot. The Hawks are the epitome of they are without a doubt the hottest team in the league right now, without a doubt. But I went to the same high school as Jalen Brunson. Therefore, my bias will not let me pick against the Knicks in 6. I do think the Hawks put up a good fight, and I do think they are going to be great as years go on, especially if Zach Richer can live up to his draft pick. I think they'll be great in the years to come, and that pains me to say as a Charlotte fan, not because they share. I guess, yeah, there's no such thing. I lied, but I know in the NFL, Charlotte and Atlanta have beef, and anytime the Hornets play the Hawks, there's always some sort of bad blood between the fan bases for obvious reasons, and as much as it pains me to say, I do think the Hawks will be good in the years to come, unlike the Atlanta Falcons. Take that, Dirty Birds. And then this is going to be Orlando versus, oops, I forgot I can't do that. This is going to be Orlando versus Boston, and I have said for weeks, out of any team in this playoff series as a Hornets fan, I would rather play the Pistons than the Celtics, who I think win in 5. So, I don't think anybody wins in 4 in this series. I think that Phoenix will be able to win a game. You know what? Feels weird picking. You know what? Well, obviously I meant to pick the Celtics winning in 5. So, in the conference semifinals, you have the Thunder and the Rockets, the Nuggets and the Spurs, the Pistons and the Cavs, and the Knicks and the Celtics. And now that we've kind of done a breakdown of all of the teams, we're going to move a little bit quicker. We have the Thunder and the Rockets. I do think the Thunder win this. Once again in 6, another 6-game series. I am going to bring this down to 5 because this is against Phoenix. So I'm going to say, yeah, Thunder beat the Rockets in 6. I think KD does all he can. Sengun plays great. Amen Thompson plays great, but I don't know. There's something about, I say there's something about the Thunder as if it's a mysterious force. No, it's their unbeatable whistle, and I mean, that doesn't take away at all from how Shea is. I mean, I can't believe he used to be a Hornet. He was drafted to Charlotte. Maybe that's just salt, but no, Shea is an incredible player, regardless of the whistle that they very so clearly have. And I think with a fully healthy team playing, they rested everybody for so long. They have Shea and Chet and Hartenstein and Williams, and yeah, I don't see a world in which OKC lose before the conference semifinals. So I think it'll be a great series. I think even though it's in 6, I think they're all close games except for maybe one, and this will be one of the more entertaining series of the whole western side of the bracket. The Nuggets and the Spurs. The Nuggets and the Spurs. I am going to give this series to San Antonio. The question is, in how many games? I'm going to go. Ooh, now that I'm looking at it, the Nuggets have won, I think it was 11 straight. I believe they have won 11 straight, or no, I think it's 12. They have won 12? No, I was right the first time. 11 straight games. 11 straight games for the Nuggets. But I think San Antonio is too strong. I think Wemby versus Jokic will feed families, but not Jokic's horses. And I'm going to have this going to an incredible 7-game series. In the East, I am going to take the... I don't know. I am going to take... This is rough. This is rough for me because I don't think the Pistons have enough experience. They haven't been in a position like this in so long. Yes, I think they're great, but I'm also very hung up on Cleveland. They do have a more efficient scoring and accurate offense. Those are both true. They have, I believe, a better bench, unless I'm crazy. But in their game, granted it was against the Wizards, that is obvious to be noted, but they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They had 8 players score in double figures. 2 of them dropped over 20. I think they have a lot of great depth. And you know what? I feel like I'm not going to have many upsets in this bracket. I'm going to have Cleveland winning in 7 against Detroit to advance to the conference semifinals. This is where it really, really gets rough. Really, really, really gets rough. The Knicks and the Celtics. The Knicks and the Celtics. The Knicks and the Celtics. My apologies, I had to cough. The Knicks and the Celtics. I just realized I could change the view to this. Oh, that's really ugly. Never mind. The Knicks and the Celtics. Obviously, assuming that these teams are both fully healthy, I am going to take, because I'll tell you right now, whoever wins this series, I think, goes to the finals representing the East. So it's a matter of who do I think will represent the East. The Knicks or the Celtics? The Knicks or the Celtics? I am going to take the Knicks. Sorry, I don't know why I said the Knicks. I'm going to take the Celtics. The Celtics in, I think 7 sounds right. 7 sounds entertaining for what this series could provide. So we have in our conference finals OKC versus San Antonio, Cleveland versus Boston. Now, like I said, I'll start with the obvious. I think Boston wins this series in 5. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. I've already said everything. So Boston will represent the East in the finals. And I am going to take Shea's kryptonite, the Spurs, to advance to the finals in 6. I think this will by far be the best series, even though it goes to 6. I think this will be the best series of the entire postseason. We've seen how entertaining it was. I believe this season the Spurs won 3 straight against OKC. Before then, they went back and forth, maybe have lost one or the other, but we saw that the Spurs are able to play so well, particularly against OKC. They're able to shut down Chet. They're able to limit Shea. And I think they will succeed and take San Antonio to the finals. And then there were both 2 seeds, by the way, no pun intended. We have the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. And I feel like I've done enough talking to say that the 2026 NBA Finals champions will be in 6, the San Antonio Spurs, I believe, will be your NBA champions in 6 games. I think Finals MVP will without a doubt be Wemby. And when you have De'Aaron Fox playing like he's playing, Keldon Johnson playing like he's playing, Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle there to complement Wemby, who is just incredible. I think Wemby himself is such a driving force. I'm not even going to play with this, but I believe the San Antonio Spurs will be your 2026 NBA champions. But let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree, disagree, have any bigger upsets than I did. Granted, I didn't have that many. My only real upset here was, I believe, Cleveland over Detroit. But if you have a hot take or a different champion, please do drop it in the comments as I read each and every single one of them. Granted, I only have 4 subscribers at this point, but, it doesn't hurt to put the offer out of this game up on your recommended. But at the end of the day or night, I do hope that you made it to the end of the video, either relaxed and pleased, or sound asleep and dreaming sweet. So with that will do it for me here from the NBA Pick'em Bracket Challenge. I hope you guys have a splendid night